So a while ago, Inti Creates came out with this teaser image for their latest game, and immediately us Mega Man fans saw that 6x3 grid and were immediately like, oh dear lord, is Inti actually doing a Mega Man Battle Network spiritual successor right now? For sure, Inti is not going to beat the missing Mega Man allegations anytime soon, but on closer inspection, if you were hoping that this would play exactly like Battle Network would, you might be disappointed, because right away you can notice the lack of a custom gauge and the way that your hand is laid out at the bottom, kind of like a traditional card game. And from the beginning it just looked more like a turn-based card game rather than an action RPG. Well, at least it doesn't look like Mega Man Battle Chip Challenge, which Inti actually did develop. Well anyway, the time has come to find out if my guesses were right, as Inti is officially announcing Card-en-Ciel for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Steam on PC. And they are going to have a playable demo at PAX East 2024 in Boston, Massachusetts from March 21st to March 24th. As described by Inti Creates, Card-en-Ciel is a roguelite card battling RPG, featuring over 300 cards to collect and 50 songs. Why? Because there's going to be a muse mechanic in this one too. Yes, a little bit like Gadget Striker Gunvolt. The story follows this Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist looking fellow, the quote-unquote gaming chair detective, Neon, and his mission is to dive into the virtual worlds of the fictional video games that are within this game to find out why characters from a bunch of games are invading other virtual game worlds. As it's been stated earlier, this is a roguelite, so there's definitely going to be some permadeath going on here, but the general game flow is you start out with a deck of cards, you go through 10 different dungeons which look exactly like the maps straight out of Battle Network. Like, seriously, come on, Inti is never going to beat these allegations. You got the same isotopic camera angle, the characters move in 4 directions instead of 8, but that's okay I guess. But yep, that's a Battle Network map alright, except a bit more bland. You do have a map on the bottom right, gee I wish that was in Battle Network, where you can see a bunch of different things like enemy encounter spots, the boss location, and I assume items that you can collect. Each of the 10 dungeons are based on the different imaginary game worlds, and obviously it being a roguelite, you're going to have to try to make it as far as you can, defeat all the bosses of each dungeon, collecting more character cards to strengthen your deck, unlocking new abilities, and all that good stuff. And that's when we're going to segue into talking about the battle system. As I guessed previously, yeah, this is more or less a traditional card game layered on top of a Battle Network-like battlefield. You have your deck pile, your discard pile, you still draw for turn and all that. How it all works is that you can either press A to use that card's special attack or ability, and each card does have a cost to it, anywhere from 0 to 3 or whatever, and you can read the text at the bottom to see what each card does. A lot of them do attacks for damage, give you buffs, or let you draw cards, things like that. But alternatively, you can press B to use the card to move your character, and the card will show in the little icon which direction that it will move you. And of course, this is going to be essential for dodging enemy attacks and lining up your own. And like I mentioned earlier, you have the Muse cards. You have to activate them by fulfilling a specific condition, such as playing 3 0 cost cards in one turn to activate the My Love For You card, and that will in turn give you a pretty cool benefit to power up your combos and such. In conclusion, the battle system is pretty much Battle Network, but everything is controlled by the cards that you play. And there are no real-time elements to speak of from what I'm seeing in the trailer. The enemies will have a little timer next to them that will show you how many actions you can perform before they take their turn, which pretty much puts this game into a genre of its own, because unlike Battle Network or Star Force, when you were only able to think about things when you're selecting your chips and cards, in this game, for what I'm seeing, you're going to have pretty much all the time in the world to think through every little action that you take. After you win a battle, you're going to get 3 random cards that you can choose from in order to add to your deck. And hey, if you don't like your spoils, there's also a re-roll mechanic. But use it sparingly because it looks like it's very limited. There's not too much else to talk about other than that, and of course the very classic Inti creates character designs. But Inti also states that you can use hitting card glitches, quote unquote, and even your enemy's attacks against him to perform satisfying full power combos. So that's pretty neat, I guess. Overall, first impressions from the trailer and everything, I think this game looks more interesting than I initially thought. The battle system does look pretty cool, so I am definitely going to keep my eye on this game going forward. I do find it very interesting how every Battle Network spiritual successor that's come out has always been very different. I don't know if it's because of a rights issue or a patent issue or anything like that, but I just noticed how all the spiritual successors do their own kind of flavor on the Battle Network gameplay rather than just being straight up, hey, it's Battle Network but in a different skin. Anyway, as for Card-en-Ciel, there is no release date for it yet. They're just announcing today that it's in development, and honestly, who knows when we'll see this game, maybe next year if we're lucky. Although they do say that it is 1 to 2 players, so we may get some PvP action up in here. Hey, other than that, that's pretty much it, so we're gonna leave it at that. I would like to thank all of you for watching, and for all things Mega Man, Inti Creates, and possibly more Card-en-Ciel, stay tuned to ShadowRockZX. Until next time, rock on and have yourselves a great time zone.